What's going on, guys? Minicall here, coming at you with a day 150 update. First and foremost, can't believe it's been 150 days since I started this account, so we are officially at the 5-month mark. Pretty wild. Just kind of showing off the 150 obviously first and foremost. Other things kind of leading into is how we start these videos. We normally go in with the TCP. So looking at 1.4 mil, the last video I believe is at 1.2 mil. So have jumped up a little bit more in power than I normally do in 10 days. Typically I normally jump up about 100,000 or so. A lot of that I think is coming to the fact that my roster is kind of at that extensive growth phase. And what I mean by that is I'm starting to broaden my roster out a little bit. And I'll kind of go into that as I am basically showing off the normal stuff. So anyway, let's kind of continue on through. I still have one more arena fight to do for the day, so I need to get that in before the timer resets, obviously. Current rank, I'm at 105. So that has dropped down just a little bit. And I think, as more people are kind of getting higher up in my arena shard, the lower the rank is going to get. I think it's a little harder to hold on to the higher ranks as. Or I guess technically the lower ranks is the wording for that. But anyway, it gets harder to hold on to those top 50 slots as you are, even though your arena shard is based off of people that started around the same time as you. If someone happens to be whaling or even kind of getting into that Kraken territory, I mean, it's really hard to kind of, pass that type of person. So that definitely plays a factor into it. So I've just been kind of keeping it as I can, still doing a pretty good job where I am still getting quite a bit of shards, which is nice. So that's kind of kept my cores going, which is always a great thing to have. You can see right here I'm getting close to 6,000 cores. This account is obviously still free to play, with the exception of the RTA Battle Pass. I have been buying that on all three accounts, actually. So anyway, next things we look at, store, kind of the same old, same old. I am still farming orange gear, as well as purple gear that I do need for my characters. Typically, what I'm looking at is if a gear piece has under normally 100, I am buying it in the purple section, and in the orange section, I'm only really buying gear that I actually need for certain characters. Blitz store, same thing. I'm still just opening up these Blitz orbs and kind of hoping for the best. Again, I'm still really not at the point rise where I can use these war energy refills, as I don't really have a large enough roster to be able to do refreshes for the time being. Next little bout is the Raid Orb store. Again, I am buying orange gear that I need, and as I'm seeing purple gear that I have less than 100, and I know that I'm going to need that type of gear, I am buying that. Arena store, moving on over. I'm currently still farming Crystal. Again, the goal I think is going to be to get her to 6 stars. I got Hemdall to 6 stars with a combination of Mega Orb drops. And then I think after Crystal, I haven't entirely decided. Actually, no. After Crystal will be Quake and going with the Inhumans. So again, I'm kind of gotten to that point where the roster is trying to grow. So I am trying to unlock legendaries, certain ones in particular, and also growing up my roster for certain campaign nodes. So I've kind of decided the legendaries that I have a current interest in possibly getting are going to be Black Bolt, Maw, and Phoenix, are kind of the old guard legendaries that I still have a prime interest in. Dr. Octopus is certainly on that list as well, but that certainly requires a lot more roster growth that I just don't have the resources for at the moment. Next store is our war store, and I have gotten a nice little saved bit of war credits. Now that Ghost is farmable, I will start farming Ghost shards from the arena store. Sif, I already got to 6 stars or 5 stars, so I'm not worrying about her in this store anymore. So primarily, I think my main farming out of the war store for right now will be Ghost. Same thing, I'm buying orange gear that I know that I need, and I do not buy any purple gear in the war store, just because there's just so many better things you can be buying with those war credits. Next one is the Elite Store. And again, I still don't buy anything. I'm just kind of slowly building up these credits. And then, we've got the ISO 8 store. I don't buy anything here either. I just kind of open up the orbs. Next, we are going to just take a quick look at the Alliance. Alliance is currently at level 48. I've been trying to keep up with my Stark Tech just a little bit better. So you can see here I've got Tech and Bio maxed out. Skill is maxed out as well. And then with the campaigns I'm moving towards, I am using my mutant characters. So I am currently working on maxing out the mutants for the time being. And so that's it for Stark Tech. Looking at the roster, a couple things have obviously changed a little bit. I'm no longer farming AIM, as I have now finished both Dark Dimension 1 and Dark Dimension 2. And, just oddly enough, I did Dark Dimension 2 first, followed by Dark Dimension 1. So I was actually able to take on Dark Dimension 1 with Ultron, and then essentially my AIM train. So that was kind of cool. Definitely created for a unique DD1 experience for me, as I've never finished DD2 first before starting DD1. Ultron is phenomenal in Dark Dimension 1, which I didn't really have too much of a question about. Other things I'm kind of working on with the roster. Right now, I am in a shortage of training supply mats. So I have not taken my Pim plane any higher than level 70 for the time being. I am still planning to take them into Dark Dimension 3. Like I said in the actual Pim in Dark Dimension 3 videos, they are not obviously the most meta team, I would say, for Dark Dimension 3. They may not be able to one-shot every node, but they can actually do a fair amount of damage, and they can two-shot a node, three-shot a node, etc. So I think for the most bang for my buck, for Mini Call in particular, I still think I'm planning to go the AIM train and for getting them to Dark Dimension 3. So part of that requires me to get to level 75, which I am currently level 72. So the levels are taking a little bit higher as I get up to the higher levels. But so right now I still have AIM. I'm sorry, I have the Pim plane rather favorited up here, and I'm still working on them as far as their ISO 8s. So Yellow Jacket, Stature, Ghost, and Wasp are already maxed out. Ant-Man is my last one to do, and he still has all 5 pieces. Once I get a little closer to 75 and I am at the point where I can start getting into Dark Dimension 3, I will then start raising the Pim planes level 275 just to kind of get them ready. But part of getting them ready for Dark Dimension 3 is being able to farm all of those orange gear nodes that are farmable. So actually, I am currently working on my X-Men, or kind of a hybrid X-Men team, and I'll go over that in just a second. Character shards that I'm farming still, I'm doing Captain Marvel, so she takes care of my Heroes node, followed that by Wasp, who takes care of my Villains node, and then I am farming basically one legendary character requirement. For the time being, that is Loki. So I'm working on getting Loki to 6 stars, as I would like to get Black Bolt as 6 stars. Maybe not the next time it comes around, but by the following time for sure. So that's kind of what I'm doing farming wise. I try to keep my character farming to at least, to a max of 4. But realistically, I typically only farm 3 characters at a time. 2 being from the daily requirements, and then kind of just 1 that's either for a legendary requirement or a team that I'm currently building, etc. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get past the last 3 nodes in the Nexus. And that is going to be kind of the end game Nexus content. So these last 3 nodes require X-Men, Brotherhood, or Shield. And I don't really want to invest in any Shield characters, just because I don't really see any long-term utilization for them. I could certainly invest in Brotherhood characters, but that team really doesn't come together until you have Magneto. And again, that is another legendary that I just don't have the resources to farm. So I'm kind of working on a faux X-Men / mutant team, and I do have them all favorited, but I'm just going to kind of filter them out a little bit. I believe the trait requirement is hero, or not necessarily hero, but the trait requirement is just X-Men. All right, so yeah. So I'm just going in, I'm going to filter that out, and you can kind of just see the 5 characters I'm planning to take in. So it's basically going to be these top 5. So the plan is I'm going to take them all to gear tier 10 and level 60, and then see how they do in that node. When I actually attempt that node for real, I will do a video on that. But the idea is I don't want to waste too many resources trying to compete these campaign nodes. So I feel like 60 and gear tier 10 is a kind of nice medium point. That is typically, what you can manage to do Dark Dimension 1 around. If it's not working, what I will then do is I'll take select characters that have either they're still part of really good teams or upcoming teams, and I will then try to take them maybe to level 65, gear tier 11. If that still doesn't work, I'll take the remaining characters, and so on and so forth. It's just kind of a little bit of a slow process. So X-23 I actually took to gear tier 11 just because X-Force is just such a phenomenal offense team. Any resources I invest into X-23 are not going to be wasted. Colossus is 10, Cyclops is 10, and I am currently working on Beast. And again, Beast is another type of character where, since he's going to be part of the new Axemen or, Astonishing X-Men, I don't really think there are going to be any wasted resources in Beast either. And the other 3, Colossus, Cyclops, and Storm, eventually when I do unlock Phoenix, those are going to be really good characters with her as well. So I don't really see this as any wasted resources. Right now, I'm taking them to 664 as far as their abilities go. And like I've been saying, I worked on X-23 first, and I got her to level 60, 664, and got her up to gear tier 11. I then started leveling up Colossus, so on and so forth. So, you'll see here Beast is at level 49, and Storm is still level 1. So I'm just kind of slowly working them up. Like I said, when I get them all to level 60 and at least gear tier 10, I will do an attempt video and just kind of see where we fall. Following my completion of the Nexus, I think I will then go into the hero nodes, and I would like to get Hela farmable sooner rather than later, just because that'll certainly help me out with the upcoming Black Bolt, who will eventually be coming back. And so we've got that in the works. So with that, it's kind of the first 3 nodes are city characters only, so I'll decide that kind of when I get there. Other things kind of going on in the RTA, I'm currently at level 68. I have not finished my dailies for the day, so I'll get that finished. I think that should get me up to probably close to level 70. I did run into a problem where Longshot is one of my characters, and I don't currently have Longshot on Minicall, so that one will go unfulfilled. Other things that kind of have happened, I guess, semi-recently, the Red Guardian event has obviously officially ended. As far as how I did with Red Guardian, I got a fair amount of shards, nothing overly crazy, but it's definitely enough stars to kind of get him going. Where is he? I seem to have lost the communist. There he is. So as you can see here, I haven't built him up at all, but I did manage to get 53 out of 80. I did get 4 red stars on him, so if I can get him to 4 stars eventually, that would be super. And I think that's pretty much where we are. So this is a day 150 update. I'm kind of just working on basically clearing the endgame campaigns. So Heroes 7, Villains 7, Nexus 8, and then obviously all of the Doom campaigns. And I'm just kind of doing them one at a time. The only reason I am still working on the Nexus is because I had started it earlier because I needed Symbiote's gear, and that's part of where it was. I think, like I said, following that, I'll go into Heroes, followed by Villains, and then the actual Doom campaigns. So I'm farming my 3 characters, working towards legendaries and building the roster, and that's just kind of where the account is. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out. And if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you have a good one, and reach out to me in-game at Khaleesi Dracarys Minicall or on Discord at Khaleesi. Thank you again for watching. Have a good one.